Hello students, my name is Priya Saxena and we will be covering second unit of Management of Financial Services part 2. Here we are understanding mutual funds. Now, what is mutual fund? See, mutual funds are the corporations, basically the corporations that accepts money from many individuals and then use this money to buy stocks, long-term bonds, short-term debt, instruments, preference equities, any kind of scripts issued by business or government. The corporate, thus, by these acceptance of money, the corporations thus pool funds. That means they collect funds from many individuals and hence they reduce the risk of diversification. Risk by diversification. They are reducing the risk by diversification. So I guess I'm clear. So let's go with the definition. According to SEBI regulations 1996, a mutual fund is a fund established in the form of a trust to raise money through the sales of units to the public under one or more schemes for investing in securities in accordance with the regulation. That means they are basically collecting the money, they are raising the fund for corporations by one or the other scheme. Let's come to the organization of mutual fund. Now, what is the organization of mutual fund? You can see there are unit holders above all. That means these are the people who are investing the money. So, for investment of money, this is the organization which is being created for the better business, ethical business. So, here comes the sponsors. Now, these sponsors are the establishers of the mutual fund company. That means they are the promoter of the company. They obtain certificate of registration of company from SEBI and then they form a trust and hence they are the one who appoints the next, which is written over here, trustees and AMC. That means sponsor is the first one to promote the company, the promoter of the company, and then comes the rest of the people like trustee, AMC, transfer agent and custodian. They actually appoint all those people and the sponsor are the one who take the certificate of registration from SEBI. That is, they acquire all the permissions required for the running the business of mutual funds. So after sponsors, then comes the trustees. Now, who are the trustees? The mutual fund body of individuals, you can say, the board of directors. Okay, this is the trust of the company which is created by sponsors. They are basically the guardians of the unit holders. Guardians of the unit holders means they are basically the guardians of the investors, what people have invested. Then comes the AMC. AMC is Asset Management Company. So, AMC is basically an investment manager of the trust. He is basically the manager who do the research part of the investment and then invest your money into different kind of mutual funds. So AMC, the manager used to work under sponsors and trustee and he is the one who floats and manage the different sort of schemes which they run under the mutual fund. Okay, now then comes the transfer agent. Now the transfer agent is the one who basically keeps the record of who has issued the mutual funds and when to redeem them. That means the issuance and the redemption of the units is being guarded by transfer agents. He keeps the quantitative data of the investors, that how many units are with XYZ person. Accordingly, he will also give the returns. So the quantitative data is being kept by transfer agents. Then at last comes the custodian. Custodian is no one but a person or an organization. It could be an organization as well actually. And these are the people who are there for safekeeping of the securities, and they do the money transactions with the people. That means they are the participants of clearing system. They are basically the clearing system, that how much you have invested, now this much amount is being invested, and accordingly you will be getting the return. So he is actually dealing with the basic money or the physical fund which is redeemed or issued. So this is the work of custodian. SEBI is above these all. That means SEBI, Security Exchange Board of India, is the one who is going to look upon the working of these mutual fund corporations, whether they are working ethically or not. So see, here I have separately explained all these things. Then we have come up with issuance and redemption. Exactly. So what actually redemption is, which we call in financial term as NAV. That means net asset value. Now, net asset value is what? Net asset value is the market value of a mutual fund unit. Suppose I'll explain it with the example. See, suppose I have invested rupees 100 in any of the firm. Every investors in the mutual fund corporations actually issues units. Units means they have some sort of denominations in their issuing of mutual funds, like see 100 rupees or 500 rupees or likewise they have some sort of denomination. So according to these decided units, investor used to purchase their own investment. That means if I want to purchase to invest 500 rupees, and I will gradually purchase 5 units of mutual funds. So this is how the units of the mutual funds are divided, and when all these hell lot of money is pooled, then this money is actually invested in some sort of investment scheme. Now this investment scheme will definitely give them some sort of return, and this return will be divided among the investors when they have invested in the units. Means if somebody has invested 10 units, he'll be getting 10 times of the return. I mean the according to units. Somebody has invested in single unit, he'll be getting returns according to single unit. So NAV is what? NAV is the market value of a mutual fund unit. That means how much the market value of my share is. Market value, as you all people know, is the value which is being traded in the stock market. So the overall cost of mutual fund depend on this market value per fund unit. If you add up the market value of all the shares in the funds and divide it by the number of total mutual fund units, the resulting figure will be NAV. Let me explain this. See, net asset value is equal to assets minus liabilities plus expenses. That means whatever is the value of your investment, this is what assets is, minus whatever liabilities like the commission, the brokerage charges, these are the liabilities, hence are subtracted, and the expenses are added to it, and upon the number of outstanding units. That means how many outstanding units are there in the market. So this is how we get the value of net asset value. Moving further, let's learn about the regulations which are governed in mutual funds. See, mutual fund is governed by SEBI, regulation in 1996. Whatever mutual funds are registered with it, they should be registered under the Indian Trust Act 1882 also. Banks are also there to operate mutual funds, and RBI is the one to regulate the or supervise the mutual funds also. Obviously, the financial institution for the payment and payment of money and redemption of interest and all, banking institutions are involved. So RBI is the one who regulate the things. Then AMC is Asset Management Company. This is a registered company under Company Act 1956. Now, few of the SEBI guidelines are there for the mutual funds. NAV, whatever is NAV, it has to be declared every day for open-ended. Open-ended and close-ended we will be learning soon. See, open-ended are the mutual funds where we can enter the market any time. That means there is no maturity date with it. Closed-ended means we cannot buy these mutual funds any day. There are few dates which are specifically for the closed-ended date, and we get the returns only after the maturity. So open-ended is we can enter the market anytime and we can withdraw the money. So NAV has to be declared every day for open-ended, obviously, because people are investing on a daily basis. Now, disclosure on websites and MFIs, newspapers and half-yearly results have to be there. Then we have to select some benchmark depending on the schemes, and then we need to compare. So these are the things you have to bring some benchmarkings, and the hell lot of schemes provided by the mutual fund companies have to be compared. Then as soon as you invest in the market, invest in the mutual funds, you should receive the certificates within the 6 weeks of your date on which you have invested in the mutual fund. So in 6 working days, within 6 weeks, you must get all the certificates. Then dividends. About the dividends, it is like whenever the company is declaring the dividends, it is mutual fund companies' obligation to return the investments or return the dividends to the investors within the 42 days of their declaration. So within 42 days, all the investors who have invested in mutual funds, they will receive their dividends. Then receive the redemption and repurchase proceeds within 10 days from the date of redemption and repurchase. That means if you have redeemed the policy, that means if you have withdrawn the policy or you have repurchased it. Repurchase in the sense, whatever principal amount you have invested plus the interest amount. Whatever you have done, whatever you have invested, you can repurchase the whole lot of mutual funds through that money. So these all documents have to be there within the 10 days. These have to be done within the 10 days of the redemption and the repurchase. Now, AMFI I have mentioned above in the regulation. So what is AMFI? Association of Mutual Fund in India. See, Association of Mutual Fund in India is basically a forum where mutual funds are able to represent their views. This is basically where you can debate for these schemes, participate in creating the regulatory framework, some new schemes you want to discuss. So whatever it is, you have to attend the Association of Mutual Funds in India, Association AMFI, for all such things time to time. Then it is an Indian standard organization in India, and it is incorporated on 22nd August 1995. So all the mutual fund companies are basically the members of this AMFI firm. This is basically an association where you can discuss the whatever disadvantages you are facing, what are the threats you are facing, and what opportunities or what are the new schemes you can come within the market. So these are the things which are being these are the activities which are being discussed in the AMFI. So it is basically an association. Moving forward, I have just demystified some of the terminologies like asset allocation. Asset allocation is diversifying investment in different assets. That means I have diversified if I have 100 rupees to invest, I have invested in different sort of investment alternatives in the market so as to optimize the risk, or I can say so as to optimize the financial loss. Now, who is the fund manager? The person who is responsible for these portfolio decisions. He is the fund manager. Now, fund offer document, the document with investment objective, what are the investment objectives, what are the risk factors, how much expense you will be getting, summary and of how to invest and all. So all these things related document have to be there in the market. So this is known as fund offer document. Dividends, as you all know, are the profits given by the company to the investors from time to time. Growth. Now what is growth? Profits flowed back into this scheme. That means how much profit you have earned through that mutual fund is the growth. This causes NAV to rise. This is simply the NAV. Now, you can see here the type of mutual fund schemes. Now, what are the type of mutual fund schemes? They have been divided accordingly by the structure, by the nature, by investment objectives and other schemes. That means these are the criteria on which I have divided my mutual fund schemes. So let's start one by one. First comes by investment objective. Okay, by investment objective means in what type of investment alternative I want my mutual fund to invest. That means I want to invest in equity, debt, liquid or money market, or balanced or hybrid. See, equity market means you do understand that is it is the equity shareholding of the firm and it is for long term. That means you are investing for 3 years or more. Then comes the debt income. Debt income means यहाँ मैंने growth लिखा है. Growth is because equity is the riskiest one and similarly the return is highest, so it is the growth. Then comes to debt income. Debt income means where you are investing with fixed amount of interest like preference shareholding and debentures. These are the instruments where we have fixed interest rate, so the income which we are getting will be fixed. So here the tenure will be 3 to 10 months. Obviously at the end of the year you usually get your dividends or interest in case of debentures. Then proceeding towards liquid and money market. Liquid and money market, liquid means obviously the cash availability. So liquid money is not, or money market are the basically short term money market things which is including gilt. See, gilt edge securities or gilt securities, GILT, gilt. These are basically gilt edge securities are the government bonds, government warrants, government shares. Gilt is basically used for governmental. So liquid or money market not only include the private company but they also includes the government one. So these are the very short term money market instruments. Balanced and hybrid. Balanced and hybrid means here you are investing in such kind of market or such kind of such kind of shares or investment alternatives which are hybrid in nature. That means they are having the features of both the equity or the debt one. Like you can say convertible preference bonds or convertible equity shares. That means you are converting from one investment alternative to another investment alternative. So this is what hybrid is, the mixture of both the two, equity and preference, or equity or debt, you can say. So when you are having the features of both these two investments, then you are investing in balanced or hybrid stocks. Now comes the other schemes. Other schemes means they are the specified schemes, like tax saving scheme. You need to save tax for yourself, then you can invest in mutual funds having tax with the tax saving benefit. Then sectoral specific scheme. Sector specific scheme means when you have decided that you are going to invest in some sector, you have researched or you have some sort of interest in that sector. Like if I say I want to invest in pharmaceutical sectors, then whatever you have invested will only be invested in pharmaceuticals company. If you say I want to invest in, say, technological sector or petroleum sector, then these your money will be invested in these kind of money. So sector specific scheme is when your money is invested in some specific sectors. Next come the special schemes, in which we have ULIP. ULIP is basically the unit linked equity plan. Now what is unit linked equity plan? Unit linked equity plan is when whatever you have invested is basically in the stock which is listed in the stock market, and it is being traded daily in the market. So the unit which you have invested is linked with the stock market, and hence is linked with the price that it bears during the trading days. So ULIP is unit linked investment plans. That means you have invested in the securities whose price depends on the movement of the stock market. Now let's come to bias structure. Now what is bias structure? Bias structure means what is the type of investment you are planning, open-ended or close-ended. Like I have already told you, open-ended is you are free to buy any number of units in any point of time in the year. Correct? It is open market for all. Close-ended scheme, that means these mutual funds are listed somewhere in the exchange, and redemption of such schemes is only when there is maturity date, when it is matured. That means after the scheme is over. So these are few of our close-ended funds which are given. Type of open-ended funds. Pure growth funds means growth oriented. Balanced fund means I have told you specialized one, hybrid one. Features of both debt and equity. Specialized fund for some sort of special scheme like unit linked or tax saving. Then money market mutual funds, the shortest term mutual funds. Taxation means schemes which save tax. Leveraged fund means you are basically investing in the funds which are fixed income securities. Okay. Dual funds, again the hybrid one. Index funds are listed in the market. Bond fund means you are in the bond, you are investing in the bonds. Aggressive growth funds means those whose growth is really aggressive, they are very risky basically. Offshore mutual fund means obviously mutual funds of cross the border, international one. Okay. Now we'll see the investment objectives or the investment pattern. So here we are having three kind of investment pattern. First is the SIP, that is systematic investment plan. Systematic investment means where you actually invest your money partly or in installments or monthly. You are providing monthly money through any of the medium like fund transfer or check or DD or somewhat, and this is systematic investment plan. But that means, well, let's see what they have written. Invest a fixed sum every month. Okay, so minimum tenure is 6 months and the maximum is 10 years. Now next comes the systematic transfer plan. What is systematic transfer plan? Systematic transfer plan is when you are transferring the so-called investment. That means for initially you have invested in debt funds, and then you have given instructions to transfer the fixed sum from debt to equity. That means you are actually transferring the type of investment alternative from debt to equity or from equity to debt. That means you are diversifying your risk by basically transferring your partial funds in other schemes. Then comes a systematic withdrawal plan. Now, systematic withdrawal plan is obviously related to withdrawal. That means you will be able to withdraw some amount or the specific percentage of your total money at regular intervals. That means either I can withdraw it partially for every month or after few years, like 3 years is fixed and after 3 years you can withdraw partial amount of sum. So this sort of investment is known as systematic withdrawal plan. So this is on the basis of investment. Now here you can see the graph of risk and return of few mutual funds. See, the least risky will be liquid funds, obviously, because they can be readily changed into cash. Then comes the debt funds, because they are fixed income securities. Then comes balanced funds. Balanced funds means hybrid. For few time you have been into the debt securities, and then after few time you have transferred it to equity. So you have a mix of both return and risk. Then comes the index funds. What are the index funds? Index funds are the funds which are linked with the market, which are being traded daily in the market. Then comes the equity funds, where you have invested in equity. And then come the sectoral funds. Sectoral means like into some specific sector of pharmaceuticals or technology or petroleum or manufacturing, these kind of things. So sectoral funds are the riskiest one. Obviously, the higher the return, the highest will be the risk. Now, history of mutual funds, I'll just cover up in 1-2 minutes. See, what do you mean by history of mutual fund? History of mutual funds means how it get started. So, mutual funds were basically originated in Belgium in 1882, and in India it started in 1963 with the formation of Unit Trust of India. Always remember that Unit Trust of India was the first mutual fund institution in India, and it was initiated by Government of India and worked under RBI. Obviously, the regulatory body was RBI. Then we can divide the whole lot of history into phases. I have divided it into 4 phases. First phase, where the UTI was established under the Act of Parliament, governed by RBI, function under regulatory and administrative control of RBI. So UTI was the single institution which provided mutual funds units. Then comes the second phase, that is entry of the public sector funds. That means in 1987, non-UTI public sector mutual funds established their own mutual funds, like public sector banks, life insurance corporations, General Insurance Corporations, SBI. These are few of the public sector units, and they started their own mutual fund company. Then comes the third phase. Third phase is the entry of the private sector fund. Now it is where the private sector started their working from 2003. That means firstly in 1993. So Kothari Pioneer is the first one, first private sector mutual fund. It started in 1993, and it was it was not under the UTI. Okay. In 1993, SEBI regulations were substituted by a more comprehensive and revised mutual fund regulation, and this industry now functions under the SEBI. So 1993 mein they have revised these regulations, and few associations were formed, and the mutual fund comes under the SEBI functioning. Fourth phase is the since February 2003 till date, because there were many more mutual fund organizations in the market, so they have bifurcated these markets into two separate entities. One is the specific undertaking of Unit Trust of India, that means the one which comes under UTI. They actually worked under the rules framed by the government, and they do not comes under the mutual fund regulation. That means they do not form the part of Company Act and all. Then the second is the UTI mutual fund. That means these are the funds which were sponsored by SBI, State Bank of India, Punjab National Bank, Bank of Baroda, LIC. So it was registered with SEBI and functioned under the mutual fund regulations. So nowadays we have more of second type of mutual funds in our country. Now, going ahead with the benefits of mutual funds, they mobilize small saving. Obviously, they bridge a gap between the deficits and between the investors and the seeker of the funds. Investment revenue, obviously, they give many of the investment alternative to the people. Professional management, you need not to manage your own investment. There are professional people who are managing the investment on behalf of yours. Diversified investment, obviously, because they are giving hell lot of portfolio, so they are basically diversifying your investment. They are taking few from the risky session, few from the return, those which gives good returns. Better liquidity, obviously, as mutual funds are active in the secondary market, you can anytime you can withdraw and get the cash. It reduces risk. Obviously, risk is reduced because you are not the one who is taking care of the money. There are professionals, researchers who are managing your money. Investment protection, as SEBI is a regulatory body for the mutual funds, obviously you are under protection. Switching facility, that means you can transfer your fund from one alternative to some other alternative. So mutual fund is giving you the switching facility as well. It is giving you the tax benefit also. You can get the tax shelter. Low cost, that means the brokerage required or brokerage earned by the brokers or the commission earned by the brokers is comparatively less than the other investment alternatives available in the market. Transparency, obviously the NAV and the portfolio information they keep is very transparent, and you yourself can see the returns you are getting. Flexibility, we have seen now investment alternatives. You can plan it monthly, you can plan it yearly, you can plan it transferability, you can plan it according to the withdrawability, so you can withdraw it anytime. So these are the flexibilities that mutual fund is providing you. Choices of schemes means we have learned very vast variety of schemes which are there in the market for our investment, and that too from every term, that is short term, medium term, long term, to every sort of alternative you want to choose. So the choice of scheme depending on the available in the market are again more. So that's all for mutual fund, guys. We will be coming with next units very soon. Thank you.